Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to my podcast. My name is Solomon, and today we're going to be talking about depression. What symptoms of depression, causes of depression, and treatments of depression. Point number one, we're going to explain what is depression. Depression is a disorder that affects your thoughts, behavior, and feelings in a negative way. It's draining. It takes energy from you. You feel very sad and discouraged, and you don't feel like you want to do anything. We're gonna go in depth in a few minutes. Just let me give you some facts about depression. It affects 10% of the world's population, and another thing, it's most people who are experiencing depression, they do not know, they are not aware that it is depression. And this is not something you can snap out of. It's something that you grow into and also grow out of, right? It just doesn't happen just like that. It's very sad that 10% of the world's population, they feel like that, right? It's cyclical. It's something that comes and goes, and most research says mostly it happens weekly, maybe 2 weeks. It also comes back every month for some people. Some people happens monthly or yearly. It does come and goes. Really try to research about depression, but not a lot is out there. But the latest that I could get from neuroscientists, they explain it as it's the abnormal transmission of the neurotransmitters in the brain. So this is more like a biological aspect of it. And examples of the neurotransmitters are norepinephrine, serotonin, and dopamine. So if your brain does not have enough of these chemicals, it does, or the abnormal amount in your brain, it does affect your feelings and it does affect the way you function as a human being. So symptoms of depression. Symptoms of depression, number one, you're going to be talking about your thoughts, right? So how to fix the thoughts is you get very poor self-esteem, thoughts of suicide, and loss of interest. You don't feel like doing anything, right? You just feel miserable. You just don't feel like doing anything, right? Point number two, we're going to talk about feelings. It affects your feelings as a human being. And in terms of feelings, we're talking about hopelessness, feeling guilt, feeling anger and sadness. Number three is behavior. So there's low motivation, there's little to no motivation. You don't feel like doing anything. You don't even feel motivated to do anything. Lack of energy, you feel drained, no energy. Number three, it's poor concentration. You can't concentrate. You can't really concentrate anything that you want to do. You don't feel like you want to do it. You know, it's just not, your brain is not there. Sleep problems, you can't sleep well. Either you're oversleeping or you can't even sleep at all, right? Number four, thing number five is a change in appetite. Significant change in appetite. So some people, it affects them differently. Some people eat more than they're supposed to eat, and some people eat very little to nothing, right? It's crazy. It's crazy the way it affects people. So sometimes if you're feeling like you want to eat everything, doesn't necessarily mean you're in depression, but there's that state of feeling helpless, depressed, but you just feel miserable. You just don't feel like a human being. You don't feel like you want to be alive anymore. You know, it's a very dark, energy that consumes you from inside, and you don't even know how to control it. Another one is drugs. If you're a person that consumes drugs, you tend to take more than you're used to. Let's say it's alcohol. You take alcohol more frequently, you take in large quantities than you usually take, and you become even more miserable. That makes you even get in deeper and worse situation that you're supposed to be in. So the next point, we're going to talk about causes of depression. What causes depression? The research says, sometimes it's the environment. The environment you're in. If it's a place, especially people come from poverty, they're more prone to depression. Losing someone or something you love. Sometimes we lose our loved ones. We lose someone that was very dear to us, very close to us, and that really affects you in very emotionally. It really drains you, takes a lot from you, and for you to recover, it takes time. It takes time, and you know I cannot explain it in words because it's a very emotional feeling. It's very deep, right? Very deep. Um, Another one is brain disorder. Some people, especially people who consume a lot of drugs, it really affects the way their brain functions. As I was telling you before, it's depression, as scientists describe it. It's the abnormal rate or production of the neurotransmitters in your brain. So if your brain is not producing enough hormones for your brain to function normally, you're prone to fall to things like depression and all that. And that's why at some point in life, you get to an age where now you start consuming this medications for, let's say, your hormones for your brain, because it really affects the way you think. It's a disorder. It's a condition that some people go through, and they have to use medication to become normal, to be normal, right? Now we're going to talk about, those are just few causes. I couldn't go, there's so many out there, but just those are the main ones that I could really come up with. Let's go to treatment. There are two treatments that have been proven to work, but they have even been proved to work better if you use both of them at the same time. So number one is medication, and number two is psychotherapy. If you use both at the same time, it has been proven to work very well, very good, at a very high rate of recovery, and if you use both at the same time, it gives you a better advantage to recover better and faster. They help you recover. But also, for me personally, I have gone through depression. I was in depression for at least 6 months after I got into a very car crash accident, and it really took a lot from me. The vehicle had not put full coverage, and I lost a lot of money. At that point, I went to hospital. I was home for a few months. It just takes a lot from you. I just going through a lot, and I didn't know I actually was going through depression until maybe after like 4 months later. I started feeling like, man, I'm not being myself for such a long time, and I think I need to change. I need to find myself. I need to reinvent myself. I need to be myself, right? If someone approaches you and tell you they're going through that, if you've never been through depression, don't tell them that I know what you're going through. No, you obviously do not know. And I'm sorry to say this, but most people think that they can try to imagine what the person is going through, but you just can't if you've never gone through it. So please, if someone is going through that, refer them to a psychotherapist. For me personally, I did not use medication. I personally used more of motivational stuff, more like YouTube and reading books, and that really gave me a different perspective of life. I started having a meaning of my life. I started having goals that directed me to a different direction. Now I had a sense of purpose in life. And the moment you do that, it gives you a different vibe. It gives you a different energy and a different motivation. It comes from, especially if it comes from inside you, it's more like inspiration, right? You start looking forward to do things better or do things even differently, have better goals in life, start working on yourself. If you start doing things like that, it really puts you at an advantage of recovering even better when you listen to more like positive stuff, working out, especially physical activity. Physical activities have been proven to produce dopamine. When you produce dopamine in your brain, you become happier, right? So for those people who run every morning or maybe in the evening, if you maybe play physical sport like, let's say, basketball, soccer or something, Find something that you can do more regular every single day that can make you feel better, not only just for depression, for those people who are going through depression, but also for your well-being. At that point, you have this thing that you're looking forward for, and it rewards you. It rewards your brain by producing dopamine, and you're always in a good mood. Your wellness, your health, your mental state becomes even better and stronger when you do physical activities. Eat healthy. That's another one. That's one of the main ones, actually. If you eat healthy, instead of eating junk food, a lot of sugar, especially sugar and salt, they're not really good for you. If you try to stay and abstain from that, you'll be in a better position. And drinking a lot of water too. Drinking water. Well, another point is meditation. When you meditate, it really puts you mentally at a different level. It gives you more advantage to tackle situations and problems. When you meditate, you strengthen your mental muscles. You're always able to tackle problems. When a problem comes to you, you're able to evaluate the situation and see what's the best solution for this problem. That's the mental strength. That's very important. Another one, depression is as simple as talking to someone. Go find someone who is dear to you, someone who is close to you, someone who has the best intentions for you, right? Especially your parents, maybe your best friend, maybe a pastor, if you're a religious person, or even maybe a psychiatrist. You could just go see a psychiatrist and sit down and talk to them, and share your problems and see what's the best way how they can solve their problems. Please like, subscribe, share this information. If any person is going through depression out there, it's not the end of the world. I went through depression and I got out of it. So it doesn't mean you can't do it. Anybody can do it. So there's a saying that says the people who say they can do it and the people who say they can't do it, they're both right. So you choose which one you want, and share with your family and friends, and they will benefit. Thank you very much.